Hello everyone and welcome to Man vs. Artificial Intelligence, part number 5. In the last episode, I played the first 10 turns of my second battle against the computer AI. In the first match, it was the regular Battle of Antietam historical scenario. That one had a dynamic AI script, which was supposed to react to what I was doing, but it didn't really work that well, and I was able to very easily win my first battle. This time I am playing Scenario 154, which is the scripted AI challenge of the Battle of Antietam. Through the first 10 turns, it's a little bit too early to say how the AI is going to do, but overall I feel like I have this battle well in hand and everything's going to be just fine. But I have been wrong before, so let's see what happens. Getting back to the game now, I am at turn number 10. It is 8 a.m. in the game. And so far, all of the action has occurred on my two flanks, over on my left with Jackson's division, and then over on my right at Burnside's bridge. There really hasn't been any other fighting at any other places, but I suspect that will change over the next few hours. So far in the game, the Federal AI has lost 2,252 men, and I've lost about 350 altogether. So at least I have an early point lead in this battle. Alright, well let's get back into it now. Here's the way the battlefield looks after turn number 10. And let's go ahead and get to turn number 11. During this turn, I was able to bag all the Federal units, which had crossed at Burnside's stream. I'm just going to call it a stream from here on, because instead of there being a solid creek there is only a stream, which allows the Federals to very easily cross at that area. I think it's a smart move by the developers to make it easier for the AI, but it did catch me off guard. Nonetheless, I did bag all those units, and I was able to capture two Federal leaders. Both Fairchild and Harlan were bagged along with their units. Meanwhile, I began to reorganize my forces some, and I'm trying to move all of Anderson's division towards the middle bridge, and all of Jones's division back to the south near Burnside's bridge. I'm just trying to straighten out my forces and regain the best possible command and control that I can. Now the AI has attacked the Sunken Road area, but with a very weak force, and they were easily wiped out. And I'm going to use the word piecemeal an awful lot moving forward, so get used to that phrase, the enemy attacked piecemeal. And during that attack, I was able to capture Colonel Steinruck. He was left out in front of my lines unprotected, his men were wiped out around him, and I just moved out and bagged him real quick. So that's 3 Federal leaders in one turn captured. Alright, moving to turn number 12 now. And just the AI is being the AI again. I don't know how else to say it other than that. They're just making the same dumb mistakes that they always make. For instance, they're attacking in column. And I just don't understand why the AI isn't programmed better to where they go into battle line whenever they're near enemy forces. It seems like something that would be relatively easy to program into the system, but I guess not. So the enemy is attacking in column, and they are taking very heavy losses. And over by the Sunken Road, again, the AI is just being the AI. They left a few units out in front of my lines, and all I had to do was very quickly move out, encircle them, and now I will inevitably bag those units during the next turn. Alright, moving to turn number 13 now. And the entire Federal Army was released this turn, including all of their cavalry. So at the very least, the battle should be a whole lot more interesting moving forward, with the full 5th Corps and 6th Corps released, along with their very large cavalry division. Down by Burnside's bridge, there was a fresh attack launched on that area. Again, I shouldn't call it a bridge, I should call it a stream. But we met them with heavy firing, and the AI took a lot of heavy losses in their units by trying to cross that stream. Up by the Sunken Road, I did capture all those units that I had surrounded, and that included Colonel Tyndale, as his brigade was just pinned in front of the Sunken Road and captured. Now I am still conserving artillery ammunition as I progress in this battle. I have already used 25% of my stockpile, so I still have 75% of my artillery left, and that's a good thing because I'm surely going to need it. Whenever you play the Battle of Antietam as the Confederates, you always have to keep an eye on your artillery ammunition because it's really tempting just to fire non-stop and not think about it until you begin to run out. So I am starting to take that into consideration as I progress. Alright, moving to turn 14. And I actually launched a very small attack on the enemy in the East Woods, as once more they left 2 leaders lightly guarded. I think they were guarded by an 8-man unit or something like that. It's ridiculous. So I was able to very quickly and easily capture General Greene and General Goodrich. So that's 2 more Federal leaders, including 1 division commander, out of the battle. The AI just can't keep leaders safe. And it's really frustrating when you play against them because they make it too easy to take out their leaders. And once you begin to take out the enemy leaders, it becomes that much more easy to defeat their army. So I feel like it's something that the AI needs to correct at some point just to make the games better. Alright, moving forward to turn number 15. And I am continuing to make life miserable for any AI forces which cross at Burnside Stream. I've got that area very well covered right now, and there's no way the Federals are going to be able to cross there and get towards Sharpsburg. I was able to capture General Rodman during this turn, which means in 2 consecutive turns I've been able to capture a division commander. That's pretty sad for the AI. Now it looks like at least part of the 5th Corps is moving towards Burnside Stream from their position up near the Middle Bridge. I'm not really sure why they would move to the south and not just cross at Middle Bridge, but that's the AI for you. I'm not going to question it too much. All still remains generally quiet in the Middle Bridge area. I think arguably that was my weakest point when the battle began, and maybe it still is my weakest point, I'm not really too sure, but if I was going to attack as the AI, I would definitely not be going for Burnside's bridge, I'd be moving for the Middle Bridge. Alright, turn number 16 now. And I had no choice but to counterattack in the East Woods to capture 16 enemy guns. And thank you to the AI for not protecting your guns again. Over the last few turns, we've seen the trifecta of AI errors: attacking in column, leaving leaders out unprotected, and leaving guns unprotected. Those are the 3 big things that the AI just does time and time again. If they were actually just to do those 3 simple things, the AI would present a much greater challenge to a human player. Meanwhile, bloody fighting has continued down by Burnside Stream as the Federals continue to try to fight their way across without any success whatsoever. My men are on really good ground, I had enough time to build breastworks, and there's just no way that they will ever be able to get across that stream as long as I hold those positions. Up on my opposite flank over on the left, the AI launched and won their first melee of the day. So here we are on turn 16, and they finally won a little something. They didn't do much harm, they just attacked a small regiment that I had out in front of my lines, but it is the first AI melee victory of the game, so I thought I'd point it out. Alright, moving to turn number 17. And I just can't kill them quickly enough over on my left. It's like a zombie movie. And that's the way I feel right now in this game. The AI is just stubbornly attacking me in places where they shouldn't be. I could have 40 guns protected by a full division, and they're launching 100 or 200 man regiments at my lines, and I just don't understand what they're hoping to accomplish. But then I remind myself, well, it's a computer, so it's just following a script. And that's all it's doing. So they're going to attack no matter what I have there, because that's what they're programmed to do. And that's one of the problems with the AI in these games. They can't reason, and they can't realize that a situation is lost, so they'll just keep attacking. Now I did launch my own counterattack during this turn, north across the cornfields. I ran into 2 mounted cavalry regiments from the Union Army. I poured my fire into them. I'm gonna fall back because there's just too many Federal units up there to worry about for right now, but it was a good exercise on my part, and I definitely unhorsed a lot of Federal cavalrymen. Over on my left, I did drive back the 1st Corps soldiers that had driven me back during the last turn, but they just won't rout away. The 1st Corps is very well led with Hooker, and a lot of their units are A and B and C rated, so it gives them a lot of staying power. But at this point, most of their regiments are reduced to under 100 men. It really feels like murder right now over on that flank. The AI just has no chance whatsoever. It's actually kind of annoying because they just won't go away. Alright, moving to turn 18. And this was just another bloody turn. I don't really have much more to say than that. It's just a slugging match over on my left. I just can't kill the Federals fast enough. The AI just keeps throwing them at me. And the AI is launching another piecemeal attack on my lines, but this time in the center. So the fighting has at least spread to that part of the battlefield, but the AI is making the same mistake there that they made on my left and on my right. They're just committing 1 or 2 units at a time. Turn 19. And this was a brutal turn for the AI. Things are going really poorly for them at this point. Over on my left flank, I had no choice but to counterattack against the very stubborn 1st Corps, which was just wearing down Jackson's division and their reinforcements. The fighting's been going on that flank for quite a while, and I just need to take care of the 1st Corps. I was able to capture 26 Federal guns, really before they could fire a shot at me, and I also drove back a lot of the exhausted 1st Corps units. But the Iron Brigade and other fresh units from Doubleday's division have moved up now, and they still remain fresh enough to cause problems. I just can't seem to get rid of the 1st Corps. In the center, the Federals drove back part of our line, but we still have plenty of guns and men to hold the position. So that's another victory for the Federal AI. I think that's their 2nd in this game. And if you think about it, 19 turns, they should have more than just 2 melee victories, but it is what it is. Again, we will eventually capture these units because they are already surrounded and they're facing about 30 of my guns on higher ground in front of them. It's not going to end well for those Federal units. Meanwhile, the AI attacked my lines near the Dunker Church, but with their cavalry, and that is not smart. Any human player will tell you that you never, ever attack an infantry position, especially one stacked with guns, with cavalry, because you will lose too many points in the process, and no matter how many gains you make, it will likely not make up for the points lost with your cavalry casualties. So this is just a dumb move by the AI here, and they're really going to pay for it. Moving to turn 20, and there's more heavy fighting going on over on my left flank. The 1st Corps, they just won't die fast enough. No matter how many shots I pour into them, no matter how many guns I bring up, they just keep coming at me. Again, it really feels like a zombie movie. They just won't die. But I'm wearing them down. Really, the story is the same all across my entire front. The AI just keeps throwing men into my lines with almost no hope of success. My biggest challenge is simply killing them quickly enough. It's really not that interesting. Alright, let's take a break here. We are at the end of turn number 20. And here's how the casualties looked when this episode began, back on turn number 10. And this is the way they look now, 10 turns later. That is a massive, massive difference. The Federals have taken huge casualties attacking against my lines, and they've really enjoyed almost zero success. We've been able to inflict over 17,000 losses on the Federals, we've taken out 42 of their guns, and 12 of their leaders. For myself, I've only lost about 2,200 men and 4 guns. So this battle is obviously over. But I will keep playing this a little longer, just to prevent anyone from thinking I bailed on the game too early. I mean, after all, I'm not really sure if the 5th Corps or the 6th Corps have even fired a shot yet. So I want to give the AI time to run their script, and just maybe something happens that I don't expect, and perhaps they can turn my flank. We'll have to wait and see. Alright everybody, thank you for watching as always, I appreciate it. Be sure to give it a like on here if you enjoyed the video, and if you have any comments, feel free to put them down below. If you'd like to learn more about the American Civil War Gaming Club, you can go to acwgc.net and check us out there. Alright everybody, until next time, just remember, keep gaming.